Everybody, good morning, good morning, good morning. Dun, 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 dun. Wrongimer in the house. Let's see, we got Larry, Steven, Eric, Wade, Maurizio, Steve, Rex, Paul, in co. I don't recognize your name, but welcome to the stream. Amy, Donald, Hendrickson, Dawn, welcome. Rosalind, David, Dan, Francois, Brian, Alan, Kevin, Mary, Nikki, Laura, Alan, Robert, Wrongimer, Jeremy, Cliff, Nina. Don't recognize your name, but welcome. Bob, Arturo, Carlene, and some names I recognize, some names not don't recognize as much. But if you keep coming back, keep watching every day, keep talking to me, I'll start recognizing your name. Chris, hey, good to see you as always. You're like the world traveler, it seems like. At least coast to coast traveler. Anyway, Darren, good morning. Welcome everybody. Got my watermelon monster. Not my most favoriteest flavor, but hey, comes in the variety pack, so I drink it anyway. And glad to have everybody. Glad to have you. And I got the question, why is it called Morning Monster? And it's because JT here doesn't like hot liquids, so I don't drink coffee, I don't drink tea, but I need my caffeine fix. Right there it is. And if you want to chat with me and say, hey, good morning, all the things everybody's doing, got to click the button right down here, be a subscriber on the channel. A few seconds later, you can chat while I'm live. Now, if I'm no longer live, if the stream's over, then you'll have to leave a comment down below. And while you're down there, I have links in the description to do all sorts of things. So, including Buy the Market Roadmap, come see me live at 10:30. I'm going live right after this, 10:30 Eastern. So, there you go. All the different things. And welcome, Svinborn, all the way from Iceland. ETL, good to see you. And some people say, my girl Ileana that runs the website, the members area, she loves the white ones. The white ones are a pog, and it's like whatever you call it, papaya, orange, guava, or whatever. It's kind of a pog mix. I mean, they're pretty good. I can't drink the same flavor all the time. Yeah, I have to mix it up. Sledge is kind of the same way. I know he drinks the monsters. I know a few of you started drinking the monsters too, but I like the mango pretty good. I like the peach really good. I like the strawberry dreams, but I can't drink them. I can't drink the same one every day. It drives me a little crazy. I can't do the same flavor all the time. Anyway, dun dun dun. So that's why it's called Morning Monster, because I drink a monster in the morning and gets me going. Anyway, glad to have everybody. Check it out. Monster Week of Earnings. This morning we've got Verizon, Truist, whatever how you say that one, Caspi or whatever. More banks, I guess is what you would say. After the close today, Cleveland Cliffs, Nucor, NXP, SAP, Crown, Cadence, AGNC. Interesting. Tomorrow morning before the open, we get Spotify, UPS, GE Aerospace, GM. Get some cars. We get some Coca-Cola. Get some mining, FCX. We get Lockheed Martin, some defense. This kind of sprinkled dinkled all over the place. We got a whole bunch of different stuff moving in. But the big news coming in right there after the close tomorrow, we get some Magnificent 7 with Tesla and Alphabet, Google, as you might know them as, coming in right there. And that'll kind of set the stage for the rest of the Magnificent 7. So this could be a market moving week on earnings. This week and next week, probably the biggest 2 weeks of earnings that we have this whole earnings season. This happens every quarter, so we get these seasons 4 times a year, and this one probably hit the peak between this week and next week, and then we'll start ramping back down again. But there's not a week goes by that there's not earnings in the market. At least some. I think New Year's, what was it? The week between Christmas and New Year's this past year was the first time we ever had no earnings in like 12 years or something like that. So typically we have earnings every single week in the market of, with something. Oh, look at that Keurig Dr. Pepper right there. Right there. It blew my kids' minds that Keurig, the coffee, what used to be Green Mountain coffee, was now Dr. Pepper, Keurig Dr. Pepper together. I was like, oh yeah, they merged. And they were like, why the heck would Dr. Pepper merge with coffee? Like that's just crazy. Anyway, it was a funny conversation. And welcome. So we got all sorts of stuff coming in this week. And yeah, Rongamer's predicting Tesla chart down, maybe, possibly. Certainly, we can talk about it a little bit. I'll share more about Tesla tomorrow. That's kind of like what I have kind of planned for tomorrow. But there we go. Hopefully you're prepared. Got some cars, like I said, GM and Ford in here, and variety of things. Got some airlines, got some banks, more banks, Capital One down here. Got some home goods like Whirlpool, and got some consumer stuff, the Dr. Pepper and the Coca-Cola, and I mean it's just a variety of things in here. It's kind of interesting. Got some trucking. So this is quite the smattering, I guess you might say. And here we are. Here we are with the chart. And before we get into that, though, before we do that, all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance, not necessarily indicative of future results. That means I may never get another prediction right again, which would kind of suck, That's why you guys are here, right? Guys and gals, everybody's here because JT makes banger predictions, some epic ones, and sometimes I get lucky. Now, this presentation is intended to be informational, educational, fun, and entertaining. It is not a recommendation to be buying or selling any financial instruments or anything else. All right? No stocks, no options, no bonds, no forex, no futures, no cryptos, no treasuries. Don't long them, don't short them, don't trade them. And I mean, all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. That's the whole point there. And if you desire personal financial advice, you're like, JT, just tell me what to do to make $1 million. Hey, the old adage goes, you want to make $1 million in the market, start with 2. You take that 50% loss and you got $1 million. I mean, that's the reality of trading. All right. There's a buyer, there's a seller, there's a winner, there's a loser. Every single trade. And if you're not hearing me, you need to hear me. All right. It's very, very, very much the way it is. Now, look at the calendar here. It's kind of a benign week of economic news, if you will. We get a little bit of this coming out on Thursday right here. We get some advanced GDP. So maybe a little bit of stuff there. And then we get the PCE on Friday. So mostly benign, but after we get through some big tech, we'll get some of this spicier stuff here on Thursday and Friday right there. Otherwise, that's kind of what we got. Just not a lot until we get down there later in the week for economic news. And, you can say, well, look right there. I mean, there is some stuff in here that maybe might move the market for a moment or two, but it's probably not going to be big movers. This stuff down here in GDP, that's the stuff that the Fed talks about. And PCE, Powell's favorite number. So we get those numbers and the market may react to them. All right. Especially with what we have next week coming up. Next week it's the thing. All right. This is what you got to pay. This is what you need to set an alarm in your phone. If you're a day trader or any kind of active trader, this right here, coming in hot, right there, coming in hot. Now, some candidates for president have called for the Fed to not do anything until after the election. And we'll see if they can remain unbiased or if they're going to potentially play ball. So we'll see what happens. We'll see which way this goes. So, people have asked me about the candidates and all that stuff. We do have some shakeup going on in the political arena. I try to stay out of the politics because, for the most part, the news doesn't matter. It won't matter who's sitting in the office, really, for what happens in the market. The charts will tell us where we're going. And that's why you follow me. All right. Now, back to it. The ES here. Let's just go ahead and clean this back up. And remove all the drawings. So this is here's the top right here. This is where we topped out. Just back a few days ago. This is where we bottomed on Friday. All right, those are the important levels at this point. We made a pullback. So high to low, 2.2. This is the key level to watch right here. You see that consolidation right there. So back above 56.65, 56.70, right in that area. I'm going to set my alert right there. We get above that, odds are we're cruising. All right, we did make a lower low on Friday. And the other thing to watch out for, we made the lowest low on Friday. The markets don't typically like to make a bottom on a Friday. We may experience a lower low today, tomorrow, through Wednesday. So this is something to watch out for. So it happens about 90% of the time. When we make a low, the lowest low of the week, and you can see this was the lowest low for a number of days, all the way back to the beginning of July. Lowest low. We don't typically make that lowest low on Friday. The markets just, for whatever reason, don't like the bottom on Fridays. We typically get some continuation. So we may see this take it right back down, make even a nominal lower low before we go rally up, test that spot. Now, this is important though. And it could do this path where we go up, bounce off of that, hit the resistance, and come down here. That's the other potential, all right? And that could be about the same size as that up there. Got it pretty close. Could bounce right down there. So this could be a downside target if we turn down up there. And that could happen, that could happen quick. It could happen today, tomorrow, Wednesday. We could pop right up here, hit it, and come right back down. We do have some big tech earnings coming in tomorrow. Be careful. Be careful. We'll talk more about Tesla and the earnings curse, if you will. I mean, as Rongamer says, when his boss opens his mouth, the chart tends to drop. It's just the way it is. And they've already kind of announced all their surprises, that they sold more vehicles, that they moved a bunch of Cybertrucks. And so we'll see. We'll see what happens. On ES. Now, NQ, this one definitely got beat down a little further than even I expected we might. We actually made a lower low Friday. So this one. Now, my statistics are for ES. They're for S&P 500. They don't necessarily apply to anything else. So don't go taking anything I said about S&P 500, making a low on the low, lowest low on a Friday, and going applying it to any other chart anywhere, because that's not the way it works. I'm very specific. I usually state a statistical correlation very specifically to a specific instrument, and that lowest low thing applies to S&P 500 right there. So that's the one. All right. And right there, the level to watch right there where we topped out, 56.12, 56.13, let's call it 56.15. Right there. We get above that. Odds are we're cruising on up, 56.95, 5,700. Maybe even pushing on up to closer to 5,800. So that's S&P. Now looking at all our little indicators here. Start with a high level, S5TH. Glanced off the top and turned back down. Well, it's the double rejection of the neckline of the head and shoulders pattern that we had kind of set up in here. I would watch out. Like, this has been a support. When we break that, we're probably flushing this baby out. So be careful. It's a 1 minute chart. Not paying attention to that at the moment. So yeah, look at that. That was on the list. RYA. I don't even remember why I marked that. Got the retrace. Oh, that's why I marked it, because it's in the vicinity. Look at this. Measured bounce vicinity. I know Beth loves these right here. And look at that. I'm going to put another one right there, just below it. And then one up here before we start breaking higher. Owl. Oh, look at that one. Running right up to the target. That one already hit. It's funny. Coming on down, coming on down. Down a little closer. Love it, man. Love it. All right. Yeah, I'm getting alerts like crazy. All right. Moving on. That was on the biggest decliners list. So Ryanair getting whacked. Getting whacked. So back to it. S5TH or S5TH was topping out, dropping for a couple days now. This is stocks above their 200-day moving average. So we kind of topped out right at 80 yet again. So we've got definite resistance, 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 and support. You know, support, 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 support. We're stuck in this little range when we break out. And 100 is the highest this can go. So it's not going, this is not going higher. This is probably going to break down. So this is cautionary. When, it's probably when, it's not if, it's when we break down. We're probably going to flush this mofo out. And you need to be prepared. This is a warning sign. This is getting to be more than just a warning sign right here. When this thing breaks, we are going to get a flush in the market. And if you're long, it's going to suck. If you thought last week sucked, just wait. Just wait till we really get a flush. All right. CTAs are still mostly long in the market. I was reading a lot of analysis this weekend. I don't have fancy charts and stuff to show you. CTAs are going to need 6 to 10% more downside on the S&P before they really start liquidating out. And a lot of hedge funds kind of went neutral, delta neutral. We had one of the largest OPEXs, the non-quarterly. We had one of the largest non-quarterly OPEXs, option expirations, that we've ever had last Friday, with a ton of options premium expiring off. This can free the market up to move, move easier. All right. Those options being in the market, people have to hedge against them, especially market makers. And when they all clear off, it kind of frees up the market to move faster and easier. All right. So moving on down, S5FI, stocks about the 50-day moving average. We topped back at 80, making yet again a lower high. Just nominally, but that's still keeping the trend going. This is coming down to the bottom sooner or later. This is a giant market oscillator. We tend to oscillate from the bottom to the top to the bottom, and we missed coming down to the bottom. We went back to the top. We're going to hit the bottom sooner or later. And then stocks about the 20-day also turned down. Actually made a slightly higher high, but I wouldn't read into that. It's just another market oscillator. We were down here in April, up here in May, and in July. Probably coming down to the bottom sooner or later, probably sooner. Just watch out. We're due, like this correction was nothing, literally nothing on these indications right here. Even though it felt funky and nasty, and I saw a lot of pain in a lot of people, be careful being aggressive in the market. I went through that Friday. Like, be freaking careful, all right? Reality check. If you're trading too big, too aggressively, you can't sleep at night, especially on a down day, you got to ease up what you're doing. Got to ease up, all right? Don't go. This is not a time to be going all in when we're sitting here at all-time highs. And look at that thing. Smoking it, baby. See if we can hold this 618 level. If we don't hold it, probably coming on down, maybe going back to the lows, back here at 56. I want to see it hold this zone right in here. We bottomed out. Oh, sticky clicker. And want to see that hold right in that zone. We get below that, kind of a cautionary thing there. Let's send an alert up there. All right. Golly. Can't get through any of the tickers for the freaking alerts going off today. Russell. Watch out for the bigger retrace. We kind of topped out here. Could do a little intermediate retrace, maybe a 618. This looks like we hit a top here. So we may see this one rally back up to 2260 area, possibly 2275. But if we hit resistance there and turn down swiftly, that's probably the top we've been looking for on Russell. So this outperformed, and the last time we really saw that was right before we flushed in the housing great financial crisis. The last time that Russell seriously outperformed like that was right before we flushed in the great financial crisis. Think about that. Think about that a minute. The last time that Russell went on a week or two long outperformance. Is this yet another indicator that we might be about to do a bigger flush? Please be careful. All right. We can hang on way longer than you can stay solvent, so don't get super short until it's time. All right, it's not time yet. The warning signs keep piling up. Oil, ooh, got ugly, breaking down, pushing below. Didn't hold that support. Got the next one right here. We may be looking at a measured bounce type setup. Watch for that. If we get below this zone here, back down below that zone, probably come on down to the 60 area right down here. That correction may be not done yet. That's a warning sign right there because we glanced off of that 618. That moved down. Glanced off that zone, that resistance zone. Turn it back down. We can easily push lower down into the 60s. Right there. Right back or lower low than where we were back in December. Right there. GC. Support right here. We break through that, coming down to the roadmap line, more than likely. And if we can find support and turn higher, there you go. There you go. That's kind of the long and the short of it right there. And like I said, I will be going live at 10:30, right after this show. Well, not right after, but at 10:30 after the show here. And I'm going to be talking about some of my predictions on gold moving forward. So if you're interested in that, right here is the link in the chat, and you can come join me right there. You can save the link. Link's also in the description down below if you want to see it, and the replay should be on that link sometime after we're done. So Bitcoin closed above the 618. Period. We did it, and it may not be as evident on this chart right here, but it's pretty clear to me. And we look at the spot market charts, and we definitely closed above the 618. All right. It sets the odds that we're going higher. The targets 77, 80, 89, and that's on the log scale. If we turn it off log scale, 76, 79, 86. Those are the upside targets. We've set the odds that we're going on up here. Missed it back here. Now we've definitely hit it. Sets the odds. We're going on up. Now we may, entirely possible, we may retrace, retest the breakout there before we move higher. Entirely possible, but it's just time at this point. Highly likely we're going to go cruising right on up. This is how likely. Let's just set this for 1 right here. And we go turn this on, and we look, we're 81% likely here. And that was a buy. You see the buy? Everybody see it? See the flag right there? 81% of the time, almost 82% of the time, it's gone higher. Look at that profit factor. Absolutely ridiculous. It's done this 11 times before in the past. Well, the past however many years. It's not the entire history. Recent history, 11 times it's done this. Same pattern right here. We go higher 82% of the time. Can it fail? Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's got a, what is that, 18% chance that it could fail? 37 bars. So 37 bars from here puts us right over here. So here's our timeline. On average, this could go faster, it could go slower. The average will put us right there to the target. So now you get the 37 days. 15% higher. Not too shabby right there. Not too shabby. All right, moving on. Ethereum, spot ETFs coming out tomorrow. It's a nice catalyst in the crypto community right there. Maybe like, well, JT, can you talk more about that? And I could. I talked about it quite a bit in my Crypto Power Plays update for the week. I will ever so briefly pull up this chart that I found this morning. Right here shows the potential ETFs that are going to be approved. Right here, we have Grayscale Mini, ticker ETH, Franklin Ethereum, EZET. We have Venex, ETHV. We have Bitwise's, ETHW. We have 21 shares, which I believe is ARC, CETH. We get Fidelity, FETH. We get iShares, which is BlackRock, ETHA. We get Invesco, QETH. And we get Grayscale. They're going to convert that over from their trust. At least I think that's the plan. So here's the base fees. Here's the discounts and how long the discounts are going to be valid for. Right there. Fidelity there has discounts through the end of the year, no matter how much money gets dumped in. These are, I guess they're a little less discounts than we saw in Bitcoin. Excuse me. Although that one's a little higher there, Franklin. So there you go. That's kind of funny. 12 months or 2.5 billion. So we'll see what happens on that's AUM. It's Assets Under Management. If you wonder how we find that. So those are set to about, I think 5 of these are set to go live tomorrow. Some of the other ones may not go live until maybe later in the week. So 5 of them got their applications done by last Wednesday and are set to go live. We'll see, somebody else may, I'm not sure on the conversions. We'll see how that plays out, but there you go. There you go. And look at those high fees though. Ridiculous. Now, if you want a different way to play, I can click on the right chart. This right here, ETHU, it's a 2x leveraged right there. If you think Ethereum is going to react positively on this, right there, 2x leverage. Now, there are fees there. This is not like, I'm not recommending a long-term hold, but if Ethereum does the bullish thing, it does have a bullish chart pattern to double. If it does a double, this does a 4x. So this goes from 12 to 48. That'd be pretty freaking sweet right there. I mean, just riding shares, that'd be pretty sweet. 4x your money. So that's 4x, not 4x. And looking at this, you might be like, well, how much money would it take to double? Look, $418 billion in Ethereum right now. So it takes $418 into Ethereum to double it. Double the market cap. I mean, that's roughly. I mean, usually 10% of that really pushes things because 10% of the money is the liquidity. Now, Bitcoin over here, 1.3 trillion. So what does it take to double Bitcoin? 1.3 trillion of market cap. That's a bunch of money. And you wonder, what site is this? CoinMarketCap is what this is right here. CoinMarketCap.com. If you wonder, has has a lot of cryptos. They claim 2.4 million at the top, 794 exchanges. You ever feel like there's a lot of crypto exchanges? Yeah, there's a lot. 794 of those. And so there you go. Little diversion into crypto. And I don't have the chat up, so there we go. Do you think this run will also help the altcoins? Yeah, I mean, check this out. Put my mouse back on the right one. OTH others. Right here. This is right here. Crypto total market cap excluding the top 10. Easy peasy, man. Right there. We've got a downtrend of highs. We break above that. total market cap, excluding the top 10, probably going higher. All right. And total 2 excludes Bitcoin. This has Ethereum in it. Closer to breaking out, but still below that trend line. We're in the neighborhood, but we haven't broken above the 618. In the neighborhood. All right. 2 big patterns that I follow. 1, market roadmap bounce. That's we make a high, we come back, we retest the market roadmap. All right, that's essentially what we have going on here. The other pattern I like is called a measured bounce, and that's where we get a move up and a retrace to the 618. I've kind of already talked about that a couple times today also. So like Rainier is a prime, more of a prime example. So if this had gone on down into this vicinity, that would be a more powerful move, potentially, but it doesn't have to be. All right, Ryanair, I said it wrong. Why? This one right here. See that move, that low, that high, 618. So I call that a measured bounce. All right. Why are the fib lines the way they are? Those are the ones I like. Those are the ones I use. Those are the ones that I trust. All right. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, I have a fib class where I go in depth into it. I kind of combine the market roadmap pattern and the measured bounce pattern into what I call the rocket ship pattern, which doesn't show up all that often. But when it does, it can be very, very powerful in the markets. And speaking of in the markets, ASML is back to the roadmap line. That got there fast. So now, like I said, 2 main patterns I watch. 2 main patterns. And the Apollo is the market roadmap pattern. If you're into Apollo, you're like, I only know Apollo. Like Apollo is the market roadmap pattern. It's this pattern on a 30-minute time frame. Now, I typically watch the market roadmap. If you buy the market roadmap, links in the description. It's a daily pattern, all right? But it works on all time frames. It's the same pattern all over the place. I just keep it stupidly simple with the market roadmap pattern, just looking for the daily ones. This is a daily one. We break back up through this resistance. Gap downs are resistance. People got caught holding. They're bag holders. So they want to sell when the gap fills. Get the GTFO, as they say. Get the fudge out. And so this will be resistance going higher. You may see it retrace before we can break on up there. If we're going higher, if we break down, probably below these lows over here. If we get a sustained move below that, we could go way on down, probably back to where we were consolidating back here most of last year. Back in the 650 area. Oh, look, I just happen to have a alert sitting there. So an alert sitting there at 850. Imagine that. Anyway, so those are the areas to watch out for. We break down below that and may go visit that if we do. So there you go. That's ASML. FNGU. Probably coming back to the roadmap line sooner or later. Probably coming back here. LRCX. Ooh, already came back to the roadmap line. Beautiful. This is why I think we may see one more extension higher in the markets here. Very cautious on that. That we may see another extension because a lot of stuff looks like it might be bouncing here. Lily got a ways to go back down here. Got a ways to go. SMCI also has a ways to go. It's close. It's knocking in the vicinity here. And load. There it is. We're close now. A lower low. You know, if it flushes on down, it's probably going to make a lower low than this right here. If we actually touch the roadmap line, we may get a spike down and a reversal. If that's going higher. If it's not going higher, it's going to break down here and get some continuation, and we may see it down here where similar story where we consolidated back here like half of last year. Very similar to ASML. So all that consolidation, we may go revisit that. So be careful being long semiconductors. If you're like, JT doesn't know what he's talking about, be careful. I'm just like, I say be careful a lot because there's some warning signs that things are about to change. All right. There's too many people looking off the left side of the boat at how semiconductors have been going higher. When that happens, tend to dump them all out of the boat and go the other way. Meta, potential, bounce right there. Just clear it up. Didn't actually hit. This is cautionary. We may get one more little flush. We may. Could do that on Google. Find the bottom before earnings next week. And then we go higher again on Meta. FSLR. Didn't quite touch. Got freaking close. Didn't quite do it. Kind of still expect it to come on down. Now, if we're going to turn and burn here and go higher, that high, that low, we're going to have to break above that 618 level right there. It may be hard to see. It's right there. That 268 level, break above it. 320, 320, 330 levels up there. TELZ. That's interesting. Senior notes do 20. Wow, look at that pop. That's an interesting chart right there. Have no idea what this is, but broke above, probably going to go cruising out to 28. CDNS. Turn down. Retraced. Did not make a lower low, so that it can hold this and go ripping on out to 340. ANF probably coming back down to the roadmap line sooner or later. That could be done, but so when I say could be done, it usually means it's done on a lower time frame. Like that right there, could be done. Look at that perfect bounce. Break back above that 179, could go up to 203. On the daily, I would be cautious that it goes on down to the roadmap line down here. QQQ. Dun, 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 dun. Don't usually see that on the morning movers list, but so this correction right here. Looky. We got really close to the same size as we did back here in March and April. Really close. Just a little shy. We could see another couple days down, and then we could bounce. And that bounce could be pretty wild. Could be a wild ride. Right there. Could take us all the way up here, 50, almost 560. Whew. And let's take a little diversion real quick. Look on NQ. It's a little more clear. Let's just remove some drawings. And that high, that low, right there. That high. Look how close we got. And we're not anywhere close on this one. This one was a much deeper pullback. We're like halfway there. So NQ, almost an echo of a prior move. Almost. And back to QQQ. USD. That kind of looks like it wants to finish that up. Now, it could be done on the 4-hour, maybe. Let's see. Load. Go, web, go. And it didn't quite touch. So, still has some downside potential on semiconductors. And this is a leveraged. This is an ultra. Anytime you see that, this word, ultra, in an ETF name, that means leveraged. Be careful on leverage. Amgen. Yeah, that one's probably going up. Cruising up 348 on the upside. Tesla, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Tomorrow is earnings. Be prepared for volatility. Now, if this thing makes a higher high today or tomorrow during the trading day, watch out. That would complete a potential 5-wave up. Could result in a deep retrace. And I don't want to remove all my drawings. Let's just clear up some of these that are out here in the way. What am I talking about? So this potential, this move right here, this low here, right up to the roadmap line, retraced. Nice 50%. I was expecting a 618. That would have been a little more ideal. We didn't do it. We just got the 50. We held. And then we did a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, basically, off that. So very classic. 3. This would be a wave 4 consolidation. And the earnings could continue it. But if we get if that was it, and then we go up from here, make that higher high today, tomorrow, do it like really fast. Can be any nominal higher high. This can result in a nice fat retrace that takes us right down to this zone, or right back at look where we were, right back there. That can result in that. So I'm on high alert to watch for that. Now, interestingly though, on the flip side of this, if we just consolidate into tomorrow, maybe see some weakness tomorrow, making a lower low, staying well above here, we could actually do an extension on a 5th. That move could look like something up into this 327 area right here. That's potential. Now, it's just going off of chart patterns, not what I think Tesla's going to do on earnings necessarily. We'll talk about more about the potential pullback. And this could go actually deeper down here. And that could do that on earnings. Typically, we see like a 13% correction. And look at that. That would be 15% right from where we are, right down there. That may be what we see. And it finds support quickly and then go turning and burning higher. So all potential possibilities. And I'll talk more about that tomorrow, like I said. So if you want to know more about that, come back tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel, 9:15. SOXX, probably coming back to the roadmap line. SMH, probably coming back to the roadmap line. Those are all just semiconductor ETFs. NVDU, ultra leveraged, 2x leverage on NVIDIA. Please be careful. Look, this is the bubble pattern right there. If you've not seen this before, look. What goes up? Kind of chops in. We just need to cool off. We'll get the next rally. Think about it. Everybody's kind of talking that way in NVIDIA. And then you get flushed. All right. It's very clear right here. We did the exponential move. Right. Did that all sloppy. We did the exponential move. Right up here. Cooling off. I hear it a lot. AI just needs to cool off a little bit. Watch for that. Right down in here. Same on the NVIDIA chart. I didn't even change anything. Look. Be careful. Why do I say be careful a lot? Because that is a dangerous freaking thing right there. It can take it right back down. It can be back in the $40 and $50 area. You'd be like, no way. Yes way. Yes way. All right. Please be careful. Thank you, Marty. Thank you so much. I do appreciate any bonuses anybody gives me. Thank you, Marty. All right. And there you go. Oh, look at that. 30-minute XLU. Dun, 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 dun. Hey, Sledge is here. I was talking about you, Sledge. Glad to see you. I was mentioning you drink some monsters, just like I do. And interesting. That's the big move. The smaller move that the Apollo probably picked up on right there. Close above. Sets it up 71 right there. I was just talking about your monster habit. Got watermelon today. And there's XLU for you. 30-minute time frame. All right. Moving on. There's a potential we get a bunch of those. I need to move on because I got that show coming up at 10:30. All right, Google consolidating roadmap line. I skipped a bunch. Let's go back up here. PANW. Got to break through this zone to get the extension up here, 413. AMAT. Probably coming back to the roadmap line. ELF. Failed to break out. Double top. Watch out. Roadmap line, wherever it is. Load. Man, come on. Oh, we're already in it. So watch out for this. We don't hold these. Probably coming on down lower. EMPH glanced off the roadmap line. Sets up the move lower. Probably shouldn't have removed my thing, but there you go. Down here to that zone, we get below that zone and may do the bigger flush. And that bigger flush would take us down here to this target, 60. Coin. Working really hard on breaking out. If crypto goes, this is probably going. And it's got resistance at these prior highs. There's probably bag holders sitting out there. You may be like, who's going to hold that long? Yeah, there's going to be people holding since back here in 21 that bought out here at the top. They're just waiting to get GTFO when we get up there. So watch out for that. Probably be some resistance before we can break on out higher. ARM. Watch for the retrace. That's a 3-wave up. That can result in a lower low. TECL. Coming back down pretty quick. That's another leveraged. AVGO. Support down here. I don't care. Anybody says that splits are bullish. Look, that it looks exactly like the bubble chart. Right there. Again. What goes up comes back down. More than likely. There's very few that consolidate high and keep going. A lot of them come back down, especially when it's on hype. QCOM. That one can possibly go higher, but I'd watch out. We're getting a little deep here on this retrace. We break down here, we may come back down all the way back in the mid hundreds. EDU. That one's pushing, push down into the roadmap line below. Finding resistance. Watch out for a bigger, deeper flush. SPXL. Watch out for the bigger flush. It's going to happen sometime. We may go on another extension. DEO. What a... It can find support here, but if it doesn't, 69 for the next leg down. Apple. Probably going to do a retrace. Probably. That was a big move up. I hear people calling for 300. I'm not sure I see it. This is law of big numbers. Apple sit up here, king of the table, to go to 300. Think about how much money that takes. It's a $75 increase from where we are. $75 increase spread across. That's $15 billion per dollar increase. So 75 times 15. That's $1.1 trillion to take Apple to 300. I don't see it. I don't see it. Could it happen? Sure. I don't see it. XLK. Probably coming back to the roadmap line. Pretty sweet. NVDL. Back to the roadmap line. RTO. That's just chopping. Huge resistance right there. IWM 1 minute. On Simi. Probably coming down here. NVIDIA. Already talked about. Google. I would be cautious betting on a pop tomorrow. It could do it. Golly, this thing's being slow. And I feel like maybe Google does a bigger flush. So it may not be a huge flush. It may just maybe a flush. I mean, look, Netflix just kind of nothing burger on its earnings. A little bit of volatility, but nothing burger. So you can see nothing burger to down on Google. SERV, nasty chart. LABU, retracing, probably going to come back to the roadmap line or retest before we can go on a higher. KSS, oh, busting down the pattern. Stopping out. AMD, this is getting down to the warning zone. If we get below the lower low, watch out. We can go right on down 85 to 105 area. PDD. Potential to bounce here. Potential. Doesn't have to. Potential. Sorry if my humming bothers anybody, but just I'm seeing a lot of cautionary. Like, it's a very mixed bag here. We're seeing a lot of caution, a lot of TQQQ could definitely come back to the roadmap line. It's a leveraged QQQ. Amazon definitely coming back. Like, it broke back down below the. Look at that. Those highs. 1, 2, 1, 2. Reached for the sky. Couldn't do it. Back below. Watch for a deeper retrace. That may have been it. The charts are warning right now. The charts are flashing warnings all over the place. We could see a bigger, deeper flush out. CVNA. That was a heck of an extension for something that was at, gosh, $5 a year and a half ago. Wow. If you caught that, baby, be careful. I think a wicked retrace is probably in store. TXN. Hitting extensions, roadmap line back down here around 180. QLD, watch for that retrace. Baidu. Oh, come on, break on out. It's just consolidating down here and under the roadmap line. That's bearish. We're tipping the odds. We're going down to 50. Dell probably coming back down to the roadmap line. It's so close now. Not very far away, as you can see. Back down to 115. Decliners, Ryanair. If we hold there, bullish. If we break down, 30s. CRWD. Load. Ooh, man. That might come on down. CrowdStrike. Couldn't hold onto the roadmap line so far. May come on down. Oh, excuse me. UNH. It basically hit the target. Holy guacamole. That's crazy. Look how fast it did that. May consolidate and push on higher. 630 upside target. Cold. Natural gas. This is ultra short. So leverage short natural gas coming back down. That means natural gas is probably rallying a little bit. Yep. Look at that. Holding the 618. I told you those measured bounces. Watch for this thing to go nutsy cuckoo to the top side. Could see, this has the potential. It's going to have to break above the roadmap line, back above that 250 area. Could see it rallying on up here to 410, possibly 460. On natural gas, Lennar hit the target. Watch out for the retrace again. Celsius breaking on down. No bueno for Celsius. May see this return back into the $20, $30 area. PPLT. Physical platinum. That looks like it's coming back down to the bottom. MVZ. Could be done on this correction, but that's not good. Like, holding support, holding support, holding support, holding support. Getting below all that supports. That can go on a bigger, deeper retrace very, very, very easily. That low, that high. Could come back down to this 35 zone right in here. All right, bias for the day. Started out here, circle back, zoom up. So there's resistance right up here, right up in this zone. And support at the lows. We may push lower. If we push lower first, that may be indicative we're going up higher. If we start breaking support and continue to break support, that may be the end of that may be the high that we stick with for a while. Could be a long while. All right. I'm going live here in just a minute, in about 20 minutes actually, on Zoom to talk about gold. If you want to come join me, right here is the link. And if anything I said today was helpful, beneficial, all that good stuff, give me a like. Make sure you subscribe. Be back live. Same bat time, same bat channel, 9:15 Eastern time tomorrow morning. Thanks for coming, everybody. Bye for now.